Hello, I'm Jack Gately from the All Online Real Estate Academy and Jack Gately Real Estate, and just a quick video here to show you how to fill out the very important property transfer lead paint notification. So this comes from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and applies to properties that are built before 1978. So this is probably something that you've seen, and I want to just start off by saying that a lot of agents use simply the last page of the package, but the regulations require, as it says right here, I'll highlight it for you, that the package must be given in full to meet state and federal requirements. It may be copied as long as the type size is not made smaller. So what they're really saying there is that if you're one of those agents that are out there using just the last page, you're doing it wrong. You have to use the entire package, and I know that means that you should download an 11-page document or whatnot, but you must use the entire package. So that's something certainly I've seen from time to time, agents only using the last page. You really need to use the entire page. And of course, this package comes and brings yourself completely in compliance with both state and federal lead paint notifications. Just a quick reminder that real estate agents must also tell prospective purchasers that under state law, a new owner of a home built before 1978, in which a child under 6 will live or continue to live, must have it either de-leaded or brought under interim control within 90 days of taking title. This package includes a checklist to certify that prospective purchaser has been fully notified by the real estate agent. Further down on the first page here, and we won't get into every single page of this document, but further down there's a friendly reminder that you could face a civil penalty up to $1,000 under state law, a civil penalty up to $10,000 under federal law, and possible criminal sanctions under federal law. So hopefully we've now gotten your attention, and there's an additional reminder that you could face civil litigation under the Massachusetts Protection Act, commonly known as Chapter 93A. That would, of course, apply or possibly apply triple damages. There is a tax credit for up to $1,500 that may help out with your client de-leading the property. You know, when I first found out a lead paint, I knew, of course, that it was a big problem, but until I actually read this sentence at the bottom of the page here, I almost feel that they actually should put it at the top of the page. Please take time to read this booklet. Lead poisoning is the nation's leading environmental hazard affecting children. Do not gamble with your child's future. There's all sorts of bad things out there in the environment, but lead, it's right where people live, right where especially young children live, and it is the #1 leading environmental hazard. That's a real wake-up call to remind ourselves how important this is. Let's skip now back over to the more common page that most real estate agents look at. It's actually page 11 of this document, but once again, you should be using the entire document or package when you disclose lead paint. All right, so here we are in something that looks probably a little bit more familiar to you. Surprised by how many agents haven't actually read this, maybe since real estate school, for instance. So this form must be signed by the prospective purchaser before signing a purchase and sale agreement. We mentioned that in a number of different videos that we've made over time. And keep in mind that this does apply to property built before 1978. Then there's the extremely important federal lead warning statement, which one Massachusetts judge once said is designed to scare you. That's exactly what it is. It's kind of like the package warning on a pack of cigarettes. I mean, that's basically the great analogy. So if you never actually read this, let's take a little look at what exactly it says. Every purchaser, we'll paraphrase a little bit, every purchaser of an interest in real estate in which a residential dwelling was built before or prior to 1978 is notified that such property may expose may present exposure to lead from lead-based paint. That may place young children at risk of developing lead poisoning. Lead poisoning in young children may produce permanent neurological damage, including learning disabilities, reduced intelligence quotient, behavioral problems, and impaired memory. It's awful. Lead poisoning also poses a particular risk to pregnant women. The seller of any interest in residential real property is required to provide the buyer with any information on lead-based paint hazards from risk assessments or inspections in the seller's possession, and notify the buyer of any known lead-based paint hazards. A risk assessment or inspection for possible lead-based paint hazards is recommended prior to purchase. So it's very possible that your property has lead paint in it, or the one that your client, for instance, intends to buy, but the sellers have no knowledge of it. That's actually distinctly possible. And so consequently, they're recommending strongly that your buyer get a risk assessment or inspection done. Now, because many sellers don't have that particular knowledge, in most cases, you're going to be checking A2 and B2 here on this form. Seller has no knowledge and seller has no reports. However, with the new change coming up that fewer lead paint surfaces will actually need to be brought into compliance, so to speak, then we're hoping that more property owners will go to the extent to have their property de-leaded, and they'll actually find out about it. And hopefully you'll see over the next couple of years more and more people actually checking A1 and B1 because they've actually gone to the effort to find out if they had lead paint, and they've gone to the effort in most cases to provide a risk assessment, a letter of interim control, or preferably a letter of compliance. So hopefully we'll see those types of numbers go up over time as the lead paint law here in Massachusetts is facing a significant revision in the late 2017. All right, so down here, purchasers' acknowledgement. In most cases, you're going to have the initial item E and F, plus you also want to have them initial F1 or F2. I'm a strong believer in getting your buyer that 10-day opportunity that can run concurrently with your home inspection. So I'm strongly recommending that you take that opportunity to have any property built before 1978, a residential dwelling, inspected during that 10-day window. And then lastly, down here, before everyone signs at the bottom, of course, there's G and H. G would be for the agent representing the seller, so a seller's agent, that they've informed the seller of the seller's obligations, which we discussed. And the H item is for the agent representing the buyer. The agent has verbally informed the purchaser of the possible presence of lead, dangerous levels of lead paint in the putty, plaster, and other structural materials. So both agents have to sign this, assuming there's a buyer and a seller agent. If you're doing dual agency, where you represent both the buyer and the seller, you will actually initial both G and H. Further down, of course, everyone signs it, and remember, this really should be completed. I don't want to say really should. This must be completed prior to the completion of the purchase and sale. So as it says at the top of the page, this must be completed prior to the purchase and sale. Do not have it. The best practice, in my opinion, would be to send it over to the buyer with your signature and the signature of the seller as soon as there is an accepted offer. Or, and you might see this in some markets, the agent actually posts this as a document inside the MLS listing. So they're actually doing it well before people even see the property, let alone make an offer. But at the latest, you want to send this over to the buyer at the latest when the offer is accepted. And you most certainly want to have it totally and absolutely completed before the purchase and sale goes out for signature. I'm Jack Gately from Jack Gately Real Estate in the All Online Real Estate Academy. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.